You're listening to the Coffee Hour. I'm Andy Bates.
I'm Sarah Gulseth.
Thanks to Concordia University, Wisconsin for supporting the Coffee Hour. Find out more about Concordia University, Wisconsin at cuw.edu.
Live uncommon.
Speaking of Lutheran education,
yes.
We have students and faculty from 2 Lutheran high schools in the Detroit area.
Yes.
I knew you were going to cheer
My alma
for that. Yeah, I forgot about that. So this is your alma mater. So
yes, it is.
We could play Lutheran bingo all morning.
We could. It would be
fun. We were doing that before
Maybe
we started recording today. Yeah, just for you. So we have Lutheran High Northwest, which is in Rochester Hills, Michigan.
Yes.
And we also have Lutheran Westland?
Yes.
Which is in Westland,
yes,
right?
It is.
Michigan.
That's where I went. This is very exciting. You got to show it on your hand.
I was going to say, for our listeners who are trying to picture this on the mitten, we'll talk about that and where this is in just a moment. Our guest today, we have London joining us in studio. Good morning, London.
Good morning.
And Annie joining us.
Good morning.
And we also have Miss Brauer, who is the choral director for Lutheran Northwest. Thanks so much for joining us.
I'm also at Westland.
And Westland.
Yeah.
Lutheran Northwest and Westland. Mm-hmm. Just choral director extraordinaire.
Whatever.
Thanks for joining us. Thanks for bringing your lovely choirs to sing for us in chapel at the International Center. So for folks who were listening last week on Friday morning in chapel, if you caught that on Friday morning, you got to hear the lovely choir singing in chapel, and it was just beautiful.
It was wonderful.
All right, so we're going to learn about life at your Lutheran high schools and what it's like to be a student and a choir student at your Lutheran high schools as well. So let's start with Annie. Which high school do you go to?
I go to Lutheran Westland.
And what year?
I'm a senior.
Yeah.
Annie's a senior at Westland.
So exciting.
So what does a typical day look like for you at Lutheran Westland?
For me, it kind of depends on the day because we have Tuesday and Thursday morning chambers practices. And then I also have Friday morning praise band practices. But it's just getting up, going to school, going throughout my day, and then I'm also part of drama and softball, so depending on what day it is, that's the end of my day.
So on those days, you have a pretty long day if you're going from chambers all the way through softball practice.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I was that kid also when I was at Westland, going from chambers all the way through softball. London, what about you?
I am pretty similar to Annie. It also kind of depends on the day. I kind of just wake up and go about my day. I'm the president of student council at my high school, so nice. For me, a majority of my day is, because I'm also a senior, I just kind of got to organize things and prepare throughout the week because we have different events that happen weekly and all that kind of stuff.
And you're at Lutheran Northwest?
Yeah.
Yep. So, London, what have you learned throughout your 4 years at high school? What has been kind of some of the highlights for you over the last 4 years?
The highlights, probably just kind of getting to know other people and learning about, Jesus in that aspect. I went to a Lutheran grade school, obviously, but just kind of getting to high school and having different theology teachers throughout the year, it's really kind of shown me a different light, and it's kind of pushed me in a path to attend a Christian college. So I'm very excited about that.
Awesome. Annie, what about you?
Can you repeat the question?
Oh, yeah. Over the last 4 years, what are some of the highlights for you? Now that you're a senior, looking back, what are some of those things that really stand out for you?
Mostly just the people that I've gotten to react with and interact with and all that stuff. And I just really love getting to grow in the Lutheran faith, especially being surrounded by it every day. I also went to a Lutheran grade school, and I've gone to a Lutheran school my whole life, and I plan on continuing that. So I love it a lot.
Awesome.
So being a part of Lutheran schools throughout your education, when do you learn or when do you hear the Word of God? How is the Word of God a part of your day, every day at your Lutheran high school?
So we have faith classes every single day. I have it first thing in the morning, so great way to start off my day. And Tuesdays and Thursdays, we have our chapel services halfway through the day. And Mondays and Fridays, we have devotionals that are student-led, and I'm one of the devotional leaders.
London, how about you? How is the Word of God a part of your day each day?
So I do the morning announcements in the morning, and I am in charge of praying in front of the entire school every morning. So I start kind of like Annie, right when I wake up. We're getting into it, and then I have my theology class third hour, and then every Monday and Friday we have chapel with the whole school, and we have different pastors and teachers that lead us in that.
So you have theology third hour. What are you studying in theology right now?
Right now, we are actually wrapping up our angels and demons unit, which has been very interesting to talk about.
Whoa.
That sounds awesome.
Yes.
Are you using a particular book for that?
We are studying the screw tape letters.
Oh.
Which I
C.S. Lewis,
had no idea. Like, I have never talked or learned about those until this year. So that was really exciting.
My dear Wormwood.
Yes. Yes.
So it sounds like you're engaged and enjoying what you're learning as well.
Yeah.
Excellent. So how then, London, is your Lutheran high school preparing you or equipping you for the next chapter in life? You talked about wanting to go to a Christian college after this. How well do you think you'll be prepared for the next chapter?
I think I will be extremely prepared. I feel like Northwest has really set that foundation and given me certain characteristics that I can take and apply in my life. High school was a bit of a rough start, and I am going to assume college will be the same thing. You know, it's a new experience, a new adventure. But I feel like the teachers and the people that I have met have really given me the ability to go and kind of start my life away from my parents and everything that I know.
Annie, how about you? How do you think that your Lutheran high school is preparing you for your next chapter in life?
Just being like since we're so much farther south than both Northwest and our other school up there north, we are able to bring in a variety for our community. So we don't necessarily have all Lutherans. We have some Presbyterians. We have some people who don't really even believe in God. And getting to experience that real life situation is definitely a good easing into real life.
Mm-hmm. What are you looking forward to after high school? What are your plans? Do you have plans for what you're going to be doing after high school?
I do. I am accepted and committed to Concordia St. Paul for elementary Lutheran education.
Oh, fun! That'll be really cool. London, what are your plans for after high school?
After high school, I'm going to go and attend Grand Canyon University out in Arizona.
Nice.
So that is a bit scary, and hopefully I want to pursue a career in sports broadcasting, journalism. My dream would be to be the person down on the football field with the microphone talking to the camera. That would be my dream.
That's a really exciting field to be into. That's awesome.
She's our first candidate for Lutheran sports here on KFUO.
Yes. There we go. All right, so let's talk about your classes and your teachers. Do you have a challenging class, something that's really been something that you've had to work through this year or in your previous years? I know being seniors, you don't always get the super hard stuff when you're a senior. But what's been a challenging class for you that you've had to really work through? Annie?
It wasn't a this year class, but my junior year I was in a physics class, and seeing that was a COVID year, so we were online and offline, which made it 10 times worse. Yeah. But it was still a super fun class, and the teacher made it really enjoyable.
Yeah. Linda, what about you?
This year would probably be my AP Lit class. It's not necessarily hard, but it just makes you really have to think. And I want to pursue a career that makes you write and just talking and having to have a certain literacy type stuff. It's certainly making me think and work hard on all those papers I have to write.
Yeah, those are good skills to have for sure. All right, so on the flip side, what about the fun classes? What class have you enjoyed the most, Annie?
So this is actually a new class to our school. Ooh. This year. It's a programming class.
Oh.
And we get to build our own projects and write our own code, and just our teacher is there to be a hand to push us along, but it's really just us in charge the whole time.
That's cool. London, what about you?
My favorite class was probably my yearbook class, which is first hour. I'm an editor, so I get to kind of go through, and we're just kind of wrapping up the big yearbook, and we're going to start our spring supplement in the next couple of weeks. So just kind of wrapping it up and finalizing everything is so fun. It's so exciting.
Super cool.
How has music been a part of your education at Lutheran High School?
So I've been a part of pretty much anything musical I can get my hands on.
Yeah, you mentioned a few ensembles earlier.
Just a few. I've had music growing up my whole life. Like my whole family's in music. There's a few music majors and teachers in my family, and just getting to like continue that and getting to know that I'm singing to God is a lot of fun, and it's what keeps me in all the music.
London, how about you? How's music been a part of your education?
So I've been doing choir and kind of like anything that I can really get my hands on since grade school. And I was really excited to come to Northwest because of their choir program. And I've been a part of choir and chamber choir for all 4 years at Northwest. And I did band in grade school and freshman year, but it just kind of didn't work out with the classes that I needed to take. So I missed band, but yeah.
So you get to be part of choir tour this year. Is this spring break for you all? No. Oh. So you're missing classes for choir tour?
What?
So what all makes up, what's the choir tour experience like? I know you all are here in St. Louis visiting us, singing here at the International Center. What else? What are the fun parts of choir tour? They're trying to decide who has the most fun story.
Definitely. I mean, it's kind of just mass chaos 24/7. I can only imagine how Miss Brauer feels. And just hanging out at the hotel, it's something to look forward to every night, after you do your concert, which is pretty exhausting. And then you get to hang out and run around a hotel for a few hours before they kind of corral us back into our rooms.
Annie, what do you like about tour?
It's really fun to get to like meet new people. Like, I didn't know London before this. Yeah. I didn't even know who she was, but I've definitely made a lot more friends, which is something I'm really glad about, and just getting to pretty much just meeting new people and getting to see new places.
You brought up a good point. You guys are doing something really cool. The two choirs from the two high schools coming together for this tour and sharing great music with us. And you really didn't even get to work together before this, just really coming together for this tour. That's outstanding. And we're going to learn more about music at these Lutheran high schools in just a little bit as we continue chatting with Lutheran High School Northwest and Lutheran Westland from the Detroit area. We'll continue the conversation in just a moment right here on the Coffee Hour. I'm Andy Bates.
I'm Sarah Gulseth.
At Concordia University, Wisconsin, we believe you were created for a reason: to use your God-given gifts to help others, to live a life of self-sacrifice in a me-first world, to live a life that's uncommon. Whether you're taking one of 50-plus online programs or learning with us in person on the shores of Lake Michigan, you'll be equipped to make an uncommon impact. Learn more at cuw.edu. Concordia University, Wisconsin. Live uncommon.
Welcome back to the Coffee Hour. I'm Andy Bates.
I'm Sarah Gulseth.
We are talking Lutheran education and music, visiting with friends from Lutheran High School Northwest and Lutheran Westland this morning. Visiting with us, they spent, we're recording on Friday because they were here part of their tour on Friday, sharing wonderful music with us in chapel. We had students London and Annie, and Miss Brauer, who is the choral director for both of those high schools as well. Miss Brauer, thanks so much for being our guest on the Coffee Hour.
No problem. Thanks for having us.
And bringing such great students to share their stories and wonderful music with us. Tell us your story. How did you tell us your path to becoming a Lutheran educator?
It's kind of a family thing. Both of my grandfathers were missionaries in India.
Oh, wow.
And as far as we know, they're the only missionaries' kids to have gotten married. They actually just kind of ran into each other in Michigan when they were doing church work. And so I've kind of grown up in the church work life. My dad was a choir director and a musician in the Detroit area for 50, 60 years. He played the organ until he was past 80.
Nice.
And so a lot of it is just family. Most of my aunts are teachers and, all that kind of stuff. And a lot of it is I also went to Lutheran Westland. Yeah. I don't know how much is a lot of it because, and... There's a couple people I call on a day when I'm like, this is not a good day. How did you talk me into this job? And but I went to Lutheran Westland too, and Jim Aumann was my basketball coach, and he was also religion teacher, and he really kind of encouraged me to go into teaching. I was planning on being an engineer, and then another one who really pushed me this direction was Kurt von Kampen, who was my choir director at the time, and then he went to Concordia Ann Arbor, and then I went to Concordia Ann Arbor. So I've had some pretty good influences musically in my life, and I just enjoyed it so much that whatever I can do to have the kids enjoy music and get some of what I got from my teachers previously, it's important to me. I think that's a great thing.
Yeah, it's great to have those instructors that kind of inspire you when you're young to follow something that you really love to do.
Yeah.
For sure. So what do you get to do with the students now? You're at both Westland and Northwest.
Right.
So what do you get to do? How does that work?
Oh, it's very interesting. I am at Westland in the morning. I have band, and then I have a beginner choir, and then I have honors choir, and then I drive to Northwest, and then I have 2 choirs at Northwest. Mm-hmm. So that's about my day. I listen to podcasts a lot on the road. I might have to pick up yours.
Yes.
But so that's a typical day. And then, like Annie said, on Tuesdays and Thursdays we have chamber choir before school at Westland, and on Fridays we have chamber choir at Northwest after school. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot going on.
Mm-hmm.
Music teachers never rest.
No. Never.
That was almost a pun, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize it until I said it. That's really bad.
Dad joke.
It was. I'm going to put that in. Write that down. What place do the arts have in Lutheran education today?
I obviously believe as a music teacher, the arts are really, really, really important. And I wish we continued to make them important because I think even in society as a whole, not just the Lutheran Church, not just education, I think we kind of neglect them a little bit. And they're such an important part of human expression. And it's such a wonderful place to be able to have your human expression and your praise for God and wonderful things. Both schools have good art programs. Jeff Davis, who's the art teacher at Northwest, is just phenomenal. And then, it's just kids have the opportunity to be involved in the arts. We just need to talk them into taking that opportunity to be in the arts because everybody wants to do sports. But it's important also to be prepared. And I always kind of see my job as a choir teacher that I don't want you to just be in a great choir, a good choir when you're in high school. I want you to go on and I want you to be part of the church community, and I want you to go on and go to a college and sing in the choir at college and have those skills to do that and to continue on in your life making music, because it's not just something we should do now, we should do it forever. And hope, and one day in heaven we all will be singing with the heavenly choir. So I find that to be really important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. When you're 16 or so, you don't always see how it's going to impact you in the rest of your life, but then you get to be 10 or 20 or 30 years older and you're like, oh wow, looking back at high school choir, like that was actually a big deal in my life. Yep. So yeah, I hear what you're saying for sure. How do you see arts as an important part of maturing and of connecting it to vocations later in life, even if we don't end up being church musicians or choir teachers? How is that such an integral part of being the body of Christ?
I just think that praise and worship, in particular singing, it's so unique to the human experience. There's, they talk about birds singing. Birds don't sing. Birds don't have a message. Birds don't have something to transport. But the idea of coming together and working together to form a really good choir and to present the fabulous message that we as Lutherans get to present, it's just a great thing. And I kind of got lost in the middle of that answer because it was such an intricate question. I was like, oh no. Yeah.
I think, we're asking a choir director that question. I think to ask also, I think you and I, Sarah, also can really speak to that too, how much music played a part of our education, whether it was in Lutheran education or even in public school, in my case.
Yep.
How that helped build relationships and so many other skills that you get to take on to the next chapter in life, even if you're not a professional musician. Right. I mean, think about how many hours Sarah sings in church choir, or even in the chapel choir here at the International Center. And same thing for me. I got to sing in church choir throughout college and much of my early adult life.
I mean, I chose my university based on the choir in order so that I could sing in a particular choir and go on tour with them. So, yeah, it affected like all of my life choices, basically.
And how useful it is here, even in what we do daily at KFUO.
Absolutely.
Sacred music is such an important part of what we do at KFUO. So it's such a valuable thing. So in what ways then do you want your students to be prepared for that next chapter in life? What are the things that are important to you as you have such, little precious time with them?
I get so little
3-4 years maybe.
Right. 45 minutes every day or whenever we get a day, or there's a half day and suddenly we have 20 minutes. Okay. I want them to, one, develop a love of singing and to find joy in that and to carry that on into the rest of their life, but also to have a good foundation in how the voice works and how they can improve their voice and how they can take care of their voice and just become better singers in the time and have that knowledge and have some type of musical knowledge to go on and be leaders later in music in the church and in any situation, like, when they go to college, when, I don't know, they want to join a community choir, something of that nature. So, and some things are harder than others. We don't do a whole lot of music theory when we're getting ready for tour. But I do think that that's an important part of things for that foundation, and that's a lot of the critical thinking and skills that you take away from it. Just having that knowledge is something everybody used to have, and nowadays it's like, you do music? Wow, well, you could too. Just come to class.
What do you enjoy most about your time at both schools, having that opportunity to be in two different locations? Not a lot of choir directors at the high school level get that much interaction with students. What do you love most about what you get to do every day?
I love my students. I love when you can sit down and just laugh with the students. That's just one of my favorite things, when they just make you laugh because they've just done who knows what they've done. And it's just a fun situation. I like getting to know the students. I think that's the best part. And I think in all the COVID stuff that we've done, the COVID things that have gone on, we've lost a lot of that because we were connecting with them online and that's been a struggle for me because I'm just like, I want my kids in my classroom and I want them hanging out in my office after school. And I want to know what's going on. And, but yeah, I think that I do this for the students. It's not something that I do in any way for myself. It's just something that I was given great tutelage. I guess that's the word I'm looking for. Not really, but along the way, and I want to be able to pay that back as best I can.
I mean, obviously, you have to love your students. Who else would spend a couple of days on a bus, living on a bus with 50 high school students, right? You obviously love your students. We have just like a minute or two left, an opportunity for shout outs to teachers, friends, family. Anybody you want to say hi to, or you want to say thanks for supporting you through your time at your Lutheran High School? Annie?
I mostly just want to say thank you to my family, because without them, I wouldn't be here. My Schaefer-Gunderman family. Love them all.
London?
I also want to shout out my family, in particular my mom. Hi, Mom. I love you.
Ms. Brauer, any shout outs?
I don't know. Here's
you
a
off
good
guard.
one. I shout out to all the faculty at Lutheran North and Lutheran North. Oh, I'll throw North in there. Lutheran North, Lutheran Northwest, Lutheran Westland, and my old buddies down at Lutheran High School St. Charles.
There we go.
Very good. Well, thank you all for being our guests on the Coffee Hour, for spending some time sharing wonderful and beautiful music with us at the International Center. Miss Jennifer Brauer, the choir director at Lutheran Westland and Lutheran High Northwest, and to Annie and to London. Thanks so much for being our guests on the Coffee Hour.
Thank you.
I'm Andy Bates.
I'm Sarah Golseth.
The Coffee Hour with Andy and Sarah is a production of KFUO. To support the Coffee Hour and KFUO Radio, visit KFUO.org. You can also text KFUO to 41444 or send an email to gifts@kfuo.org. And you can call us at 800-844-0524. KFUO. Christ for you, anytime, anywhere.